What did you do before you went out on those ECW shows, just as far
Pills.
as getting ready? Straight up.
Yeah, I mean,
Were you that fucked up?
no, I just, like the painkillers became like an armor for me. It felt like a shield of armor. It puts you in no pain, and that no pain feeling was like a coat of armor for me. And then when I quit doing drugs and I had to wrestle without it for the first year or so, it was more, all of a sudden I had that anxiety again from, that I hadn't had in years other than like for big matches or something. And, because my coat of armor was gone, So, but where I really screwed up was when I started because I drink after the shows. I never drank before a show. I prided myself on never doing that. And once I took that first beer before a show, that was the beginning of the slow descent into madness.
What happened?
No. I mean, that's just that's when my drinking, and that led to my drinking and drugging becoming so heavy that eventually I got pancreatitis and I had to stop drinking, which led to my drugging becoming so much worse. But if I never would have started drinking before the show, I never would have became an alcoholic and never would have drank. Because drinking every night's one thing, but drinking all day and all night's a whole nother matter.
God dang, dude, when we were riding down the road, you, me, and Brian, I don't even remember you drinking.
No, I mean, I didn't drink much. I didn't take a lot of pills. I didn't take any pills. I mean, it just, I don't know. I found a way to deal with all my emotional issues by pouring a drink on them and pouring pills in there. And so I didn't have to deal with it,
So when did you quit all that stuff and go back to wrestling with nothing?
Before I went to WWE. Before I went to WWE, I got clean and sober. And I stayed clean and sober for a long time. I went off, I had a few runs off, afterwards, with pills. But, for the most part, it was back in 99, 2000. I don't know. Whenever I went to WWE as Raven, that was when I quit, and then I quit everything. Everything probably at least 7-8 years ago. Maybe 10 years. It could be longer. I don't know. I never put a date on it. I never went to AA, and not that that's not a good thing, but to me, that was just like listening to people brag. I'd want to tell, like if I went to a meeting, I would just want to tell, I got a better story than that. It would have been a competition for me. So that wasn't the way for me. It was just a matter of, although on the other hand, playing, devil's advocate, I saw an addictionologist, who's a psychiatrist who specializes in addiction medicine. And he said, you may not actually be an addict. He goes, but I've never seen anybody abuse drugs more than you.
Well, dude, when I was drinking, I would just drink to pass time because I was bored. I just wanted something to do.
Right.
And I could kill a lot of hours drinking a lot of whiskey or vodka or whatever.
Life's long.
Yeah, but and it's easy to do because it's a pleasurable experience. I don't drink as much anymore. But I just got finished talking to a guy a couple of weeks ago. He came on the show. He was a heavy-duty drug guy and just a raging alcoholic. And then he came to one day, just had that come to Jesus meeting.
Right.
That moment. And it was like, dude, I'm going to die. If you don't stop today, you're going to die. And so he cleaned up from there on out.
Sure.
He turned into an ultra racer. Started off, just running on a treadmill. He could run about 15 seconds at a time. He went from 320 down to 180 over the course of the time. And he started running, marathons. And running
ultra marathons?
Yeah.
Oh, my God.
100-mile races.
That's ridiculous.
So, but it was almost like, he just needed something to do positive. So what did you do or what was your approach to putting all that shit away?
Well, first of all, I did so much ecstasy. I fried my brain cells to the point where I literally, we've been talking for 2 hours. I wouldn't remember what I did before I came to your house. That's how bad the problem that my brain got addled. And but luckily, I had like this alternative healer, this chiropractor who knew like every form of alternative healing and kind of put me back together, with all these esoteric, techniques. And he put my brain back together. And then it was a matter of, never doing drugs again, never doing ecstasy again. I already wrote coke off a long time before that. I already wrote booze off because I got pancreatitis. That was the most painful thing I've ever lived through. It was 8 days. I got pancreatitis. I was supposed to be at TV. I was supposed to fly out for TV, and my stomach, the pancreas, it's above your stomach, like where the solar plexus is. It started hurting so bad. And my buddy who's was going to med school, he's like, "You got pancreatitis. We're going to the hospital." They put me in a bed. They said, "Do you do drugs?" And so, of course, I thought if I told them yes, they wouldn't give me any. So I said no. So they never gave me enough meds to stop the pain because my level of tolerance was so high. So I was howling at nights, and you can't eat any food until your pancreas clears. So no food, no water, no nothing for like 8 days. And the first 4 days, I was literally howling in pain at night. They would just close my door and I'd just have to suffer. And so I never was going to drink again. So that was done. The ecstasy, that was done. The coke was already done before. The injectable drugs, I wrote that off, and that's when I knew I was coming to the end of the line. And then it was just a matter of, I'm not going back to any of those things. So, I already checked them off the list. There's nowhere to go anyway. So then I became a shopping addict, started wasting money left and right because, you got to transfer the addiction until you deal with it. And then I started seeing a psychologist and dealt with it and, figured out what my problems was, my baggage was, and, I still got problems and I still got baggage, but now I can deal with it, in a healthy manner as opposed to, a stupid manner.
I mean, how do you deal with it? I mean, is there a trigger that will set you off and hey, man, I check myself?
All right. So, I get anxiety when I got to make phone calls. I hate making phone calls to people. Like when you called earlier this morning, I'm like, all right. So I pick up the phone and and so in my head, I'm going, I don't want to be on the phone too long. I don't want to be on too short. I don't want to, and you start thinking, you're like, cause, you don't want to aggravate your buddy, you know what I mean? But so you don't want to drag the call, but you don't want to cut him off too soon while he's still happy to be on the phone. And I'm like, but those kind of things make me nutty. And so but now I just go, all right, well, either deal with it, and just take a deep breath, deal with it and just play it by ear like you do the rest of life or suffer. So, you